Fox News alert: the International Atomic Energy Agency now confirming a partial meltdown inside 3 of Japan's crippled nuclear reactors, all within the same plant. Brand new hour here of America Live. Welcome, everyone. I'm Megan Kelly. The IAEA saying reactors 1, 2, and 3 at the Fukushima power plant have started melting down. And yet the head of the UN's nuclear watchdog agency, this guy, the head of it, is actually himself Japanese, waited a full week to visit the ravaged region. This is as United States forces are being ordered to stay more than 50 miles away from the plant. All U.S. citizens are now urged to evacuate the danger zone. Our own Shepard Smith is live in Tokyo. Shepard, you've been there now for a couple of days, and the headline we just got at the top of the 1 o'clock hour is that now at this Fukushima plant, as they're looking at partial meltdown at 3 of the reactors, they're now raising the acceptable level of radiation for the workers, the fearless 50 who are in there trying to save that country from nuclear meltdown?
Right. For many, many years, the Japanese government has established a limit, an acceptable limit of radiation. And without getting into the specifics, say it's 100 units, now it's 250 units. So the amount acceptable at the workforce has been raised from 100 to 250, so by 150%. It's like raising the debt ceiling, but a bit more serious for the family members back home. You know, at one point yesterday, last night during prime time actually, there was a fire in unit number 4, so they evacuated all of the workers at the plant, all of them. There were 50 left. And at the time, the indication seemed to be, though they're very vague about everything, that that was it. The sort of word on the side was, we've given up. Our people can't be this close. It's too dangerous. And then maybe an hour and a half later, another shift of workers was back in there saying, well, the levels have come down. But now we're told that the computer, which monitors the radiation levels, is not working. So either we have a serious communication problem or there's a lack of information that's much more serious.
Well, and there's been some criticism of this plan, of its owners, along those lines. I mean, the Ministry of Health over there apparently said we're raising the maximum allowable exposure for these nuclear workers because they say the move is, quote, unavoidable due to the circumstances. Well, what does that mean?
Well, I think it may boil down to something as simple as this, Megan. The facilities which allow them to cool down and monitor the 3 different reactors that you're talking about, plus reactor number 4, which has been offline with the spent fuel rods in the pool, those computers aren't working. The mechanics which push water into those facilities are not working. The monitoring stations aren't working, so you have to have people to do it. If the people leave this, if they evacuate the plants, they've told us without water being put on it that they will overheat, and then there's the possibility of an enormous radiation leak. So I don't know if they're sacrificing for the greater good or what it is, but we do know if they evacuated and gave up, we'd be in the middle of a worst case scenario, which is where we thought we were last night during Greta's program, until then another series of people came in. Further problems for them, Megan. This is the coldest day since we've been here. We've been here 4 days now. This is by far the coldest day. There's said to be 450,000 people living in shelters, and many who are still living out of doors. And right now at what, I don't know, somewhere past midnight here, it's about 6 degrees below freezing Fahrenheit. So we're in the mid-20s. Wow. And the wind is very strong, and there's snow all over the ground up north, Megan. It's really awful.
Wow, what a combination of forces Mother Nature has dealt Japan this week. Shepard, thank you so much. Well, prices for flights out of Japan are surging right now as fears of a nuclear meltdown spread. We talked with one guy yesterday, been living there for 25 years, an American, but he said it's time. I'm taking my family out of here. People desperate to escape now turning to private jet companies for help. About a dozen foreign bankers shelling out $160,000 for their flight out of Tokyo. Another group quoted more than $250,000. Japan's main airport serving Tokyo also packed with people scrambling to leave over fears of radiation possibly spreading. European airlines shifted their operations to Osaka from Tokyo as a precaution. Well, the whole thing that, we've been watching, the thing that really makes you pause when you look at pictures of Japan's nuclear complex is what I was talking about with Shepard. Some 50 people are still working there. They are quite literally risking their own lives to prevent a full-scale meltdown and protect their fellow citizens. Conditions for these heroes are incredible to imagine. They are beyond deadly. possibly, the radiation that they are facing. And there are intense fires and heavy smoke. You heard him say last night they had to be removed from the plant, that the workers did, because they just thought there's no way, we can't have them on site in the middle of a fire. It is dark because there's no electricity. There is a constant threat of another explosion at any moment.